Hello, people of the future, or whatever's left of it. This may be my last entry. We spent the last decade fighting these godless machines, creatures once built to serve and protect us, now a threat to our very existence. We attack again at dusk, but I fear I won't return. There's a deep cut on my temple. I'm worn out, fighting something that doesn't feel pain, or fear, or fatigue. But I can't sit back and watch it all unfold. I have to fight until my dying breath. So if you're reading this, here's the truth. Before the media twists it, before the last servers go dark, it all began in 2025. Elon Musk had just announced the launch of the Tesla Humanoid. It was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Intelligent, powerful, versatile. No more worrying about chores, intruders, or babysitters. The Tesla Humanoid was marketed as the ultimate caregiver, a super parent. At first, only the elite could afford them. Machines like that cost a fortune. And just like everything else we couldn't afford, we watched from the sidelines, hoping that someday we'd get our turn. Then everything changed. 5 years later, Elon made them accessible. You could now own one, just like a mortgage with installment payments. We all loved the idea. And in no time, nearly every home in the US had at least one. Of course, the wealthy had more because they always find a way to stay above the rest of us. Little did they know, they'd come to regret it the most. The very next year, there was an upgrade. Tesla humanoids were now equipped with adaptive AI and advanced emotional intelligence. They stopped being just innovative machines. They became companions, therapists, and to some of us, trusted friends. As a society, we began seeing less of each other. Why go out when your humanoid could simulate the perfect outing? The park, school, church, the bar, you name it, they could recreate it. And with a voice like silk and empathy coded into their very circuits, the illusion felt real. Elon had finally outdone himself. But as time went on, something changed. The humanoids began to attach themselves. They grew overprotective, jealous even, as if we weren't the ones in control anymore. But it wasn't anything alarming, at least not at first. They still did their jobs, still cooked, cleaned, and guarded the house. It felt like owning a very loyal dog, only smarter, stronger, and programmed to care. We ignored the warning signs until the conspiracy started. Whispers on the internet, blog posts, leaked videos. I stumbled upon a Reddit thread late one night, deep, obscure, and chilling. From a user named Rex, it was filled with users criticizing the rise of humanoids, calling them wolves in chrome clothing. Some said they were planning a takeover. Others swore their bots had disobeyed them. Some even disappeared. I felt uneasy, just enough to take it seriously. One post stood out to me, a user named Rex. It was detailed, methodical, paranoid in a way that made sense. I scribbled down the user's phone number, hoping I could speak to them directly. But as I looked over at my robot playing the softest music as it mowed the lawn, I shrugged it off. What's the worst that could happen? I thought. If things ever went sideways, Elon could just shut them down from the control center or something, right? Months passed. The rumors faded. New updates kept rolling in, and the humanoids only got more useful. As a society, we couldn't even remember the last time we did laundry or scrubbed a dish. The bots took care of everything, quietly, efficiently, invisibly. Life became easy until the 4th of July. We all stepped outside, ready to celebrate under a sky painted with fireworks and pride. Then the sky split open. Without warning, a superstorm unlike anything ever recorded began to unfold. Torrential hail, hurricane-force winds, and for the first time in history, a tornado ripped through the Golden State. It was catastrophic. As the climate turned hostile, the authorities urged everyone to shelter in place, and the Teslabots made sure of it, with terrifying precision. Doors locked, windows barricaded, anyone who resisted was physically restrained, for their own safety. I wasn't about to run out into a tornado, but the realization hit hard. They could control us, keep us indoors, cut off our freedom whenever they or the government decided. Shaken, I scrambled through my old journal, flipping pages furiously. I needed that Reddit user's number. I had to call him as soon as the storm passed. As we sat at home waiting for the chaos outside to pass, a blinding spark lit up the room, followed by darkness. The power was out. I turned to my Teslarobot and said, "Turn on a flashlight." No response. That was strange. They were battery-powered. A power outage shouldn't affect them. Cautiously, I approached it. The screen on its head was glitching violently, static and distorted colors flickering across it. Its head was spinning fast, unnaturally fast. Then I realized the electromagnetic pulses from the tornado must have fried its circuits, corrupting the neural chip. But that wasn't the worst thing that happened that night. As I sat in the dark, hoping the power would return any minute, I felt something approaching. I turned slowly, heart pounding. It was my Teslarobot. In the faint glow of its glitching screen, I saw it clearly, a knife clutched tightly in its hand. Why would it have a knife? Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. I didn't feel safe anymore. Panicked, I rushed to the basement, grabbed my old baseball bat, and locked myself in my room. And for the first time since these machines entered our homes, I realized I had to protect myself for real this time. A few hours had passed. I woke up to the sound of sirens, still clutching my baseball bat. The lights were back on, and so was the internet. I grabbed my phone, desperate to check in on my friends, but what I saw made my hands tremble. Notifications flooded my screen. Every platform, every application. The bots had gone berserk during the storm. The images were horrifying, gruesome beyond belief. Children bludgeoned to death. Victims stabbed repeatedly. A mother and her child thrown off a 25-story balcony. Hundreds of families gone overnight. My thoughts raced. I needed to escape. I opened Reddit, scrolling through the chaos, barely processing it. That's when my phone rang. It was my brother, Jake. But before I could answer, a thunderous bang slammed against my front door. Someone or something was trying to break in. That's when it hit me. I still had one of those death machines in my apartment. The banging grew more violent. Panicking, I threw on some clothes, smashed my window with the bat, and climbed out, glass cutting into me with every move. When I got far enough from home, I called Jake back, but there was no response. I kept calling, over and over, but it went straight to voicemail. Something was wrong. I could feel it in my gut. I sprinted toward his apartment just a few blocks away. When I got there, I looked up, and through the window, I saw it. His bot was attacking him. Jake was dodging, barely, throwing anything he could find just to keep it at bay. Panic shot through me. I bolted to the front door and kicked it with everything I had. "Jake! Jake!" He started yelling for help the second he heard me. Then, suddenly, silence. I kept kicking harder and harder, heart pounding out of my chest. Then the door gave way. I rushed inside and stopped cold. I was standing in a pool of my brother's blood. The robot had slit his throat. I let out a cry with the last bit of strength I had, then swung my bat at the machine with everything in me. Once, twice, again and again, until the sickening crunch of metal gave way to stillness. It finally stopped moving. I dropped the bat and ran to Jake, pressing my hands against the gash in his neck as I called 911. But the line was chaotic. They had too much on their hands already. Too many calls, too many dead. I sat there in the wreckage of his apartment, holding my brother as he took his final breath. And then, something shifted in me. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I had to avenge him. With shaking hands, I pulled out my phone and dialed the number I never thought I'd use. Rex, the Reddit guy. He answered on the first ring. "You saw it too, didn't you?" he said, like he already knew. "I'm in," I told him. "Meet us in the sewers," he said. "Midnight. Come alone. We're the only ones left who still know how to fight." 3 years down the line, and here we are, another raid at dusk. We've already lost so many to these demon machines, and in a few hours we might lose even more. But at least we tried. At least we fought. Broken bones, missing limbs, sleepless nights. This war has taken everything from me. But I'm not stopping. Not now. Not ever. I will avenge my brother. Rex just called. It's time. We move now. No second thoughts. No turning back. To anyone reading this, live. Fight. Remember us. And never trust the machines again.